of conducting polymers. So the application in application uh, we have rechargeable light, electronic devices, optical display devices, in telecommunication system, anti-static coating for the clothing, in solar cells, in drug delivery system, in molecular wires and molecular switch. So these are the various applications of the conducting polymer. Extrinsically conducting polymers, you can also say. So okay, now what are the limitations of the conducting polymers? Sorry, these are the application of conducting polymers, not only the extrinsically conducting polymers. So what are the limitation of conducting polymers? There are many limitations, that these have a few large scale applications because of high cost, problems in the processing due to their insolubility, infrastability, brittleness, long term instability. Okay, so this on this we have covered the conducting polymers main subtopics. Now we have to cover the example of conducting polymer. In the example, we have to study about the polyacetylene, and this is what the structure of the polyacetylene. You can see this is your cis polyacetylene, this is your trans polyacetylene. Okay, so discovery, it's not too much important. Ziegler-Natta catalyst, and it becomes like okay. Now the conductivity in the polyacetylene, how the conductivity happens, this is basically written here. You can read this. I'm basically main focusing on the application, properties and its preparation, because these are the main things that will be asked. So what are the applications of polyacetylene? So these are the applications that are mentioned here. The doped polyacetylene offer a particularly high electrical conductivity, therefore used as a electric wiring or electrode materials. Okay, and this is basically triiodide oxide with the polyacetylene can be used as a sensor. So as a sensor and as a electric wiring, electrode materials. So these are the application of polyacetylene. The next type of polymer that we have to study is electroluminescent polymer. So in this polymer you have to study about the polyphenylene vinylene. Its preparation, its properties and applications are important, so we have to main focus on those. Okay, and then we will be having the last in the specialty polymer, that is polymer composites. So in electroluminescent polymers, as the name suggests, that it emits the light, right? So it is a phenomena in which the material emits light as a response to the passage of the electric current or a strong electric field. So that's what we are going to study in this electroluminescent polymers. Okay, so here we have to study about phenylene vinylene, that is your PPV, polyphenylene vinylene. So this is basically your polymer light emitting diode, which is PLED, and you can see this is the structure of this polymer PLED. Here you can see this is your glass or plastic substrate, indium tin oxide, electroluminescent polymer like PPV, aluminium and magnesium calcium. So this is this is basically the whole PLED, and this is connected to the battery and it's emit light. Okay, so this is your PLED. So what are the applications of electroluminescent polymers? These polymers have a potential application of a light emitting diode. So these are used in the LED devices, flat panel display and computer monitoring, television screen, mobile phone display, and the color pixel in the inkjet printing. So these are the various applications of electroluminescent polymers, and the example that we have to study is the polyphenylene vinylene, which is PPV. This is the structure of PPV, right? So the property that is given here is insoluble in water, but is precursors can be manipulated in a aqueous solution. Okay, so the main polymeric chain of PPV is this. The one that I showed you was the single unit, and this is the main unit of PPV. So what are the properties of PPV? These are the various properties of the PPV that can be asked in the examination. That is, it is a diamagnetic material, low intrinsic electrical conductivity. Electrical conductivity increases upon doping, ease of the oxidation, and have a much higher conductivities. PPV is water insoluble. It isn't soluble in water and gives bright yellow green fluorescence on the application of electric field. When you apply electric field around it, it will give you a bright yellow green color, or color you can say fluorescence. Here you can see the whole process that happened with it, and the different advantages are given here, and ease of processing permits PPV to separate into. So basically this is what the structure that's showing you how it works, how it absorbs the electrons and gives lights, all what happens here. The cathode, here the cathode is made up of aluminium, calcium or magnesium, and this light emitting polymer, this is the PPV. ITO anode, glass polymer substrate. So this is basically diagram of that PPV, how it's work. Okay, the main thing that we have to focus is its applications. So what are the applications of PPV? Since it is capable of the electroluminescence, so due to its stability, processability, it is used in the organic light emitting diode, OLED, and the devices which based on the PPV as an emissive layer, bright yellow. Okay, so this emissive layer emits bright yellow green color, as I already mentioned that it emits the bright yellow green fluorescence, and derivatives of the PPV are used when the light of different color is required. So basically derivatives are used if you want a different color, otherwise it gives you bright yellow green color. Okay, the PPV is also used in the organic solar cells, photovoltaic devices and sensors. So we have studied and we are left with the last topic in the specialty polymers, which is composite polymers. So in the polymer composites, we have to study about the fiber reinforcement, in which we have to study about the glass reinforcement, and what? Carbon reinforcement. Okay, so these comes under fiber reinforcement. Fiber reinforcement. So let's study the polymer composites. So in the next topic of polymer composite, we have to study about the different components which make it. Okay, so first of all, what is a polymer composite? So polymer composite is basically, you can say that it is made up of two things. First of all, there are fibers, and the second thing is the solid fluid like thing. So a polymer composite is a material which is made up of polymer matrix and reinforcing material being put together with a defined interface, right? So I already tell you that fibers and a solid material, when these two combine, we get a polymer composite, and basically it is very strong, that's why we use it. There are various definitions related to this, is that the boundary between the matrix and the reinforcement is called the interface. Strength of the interfacial bonds affects the properties of the polymer composite. So basically, first of all, understand what is the reinforced material and what is the matrix that we are talking about here. So the polymer matrix is basically the solid part that I was talking about. You can just think that there is a container in which you filled up a liquid which solidified after few minutes. Okay, and then you put some fibers in that, and after few minutes it solidified. Now the structure that you get is something like this, and in which these fibers are fixed at their positions. So the material of which is this is made up of is what the polymer matrix. So it is of two types, thermoplastic and thermosetting plastic. So you can use either of the two. And in the polymer matrix, so these two are used, but what are the functions of these two? The functions is that it binds to the dispersed phase, that is the reinforcement together, helps in distributing the external applied load and okay. So these are all that we can understand by the diagram that I showed you here. And this prevents the development of the crack due to its plasticity and softness, prevents the reinforcement dispersed phase from the chemical action, and keeps the properly oriented under the action of load, right? So this is what the polymer matrix. Now the next that we have to study is reinforcement. That was the fibers, and they are different. Actually, fibers here you will use different types of fibers kinds. So that's why we are studying here. So in reinforcement we have fibers, particulates, and flakes, right? So fiber, these are the long thin filaments of the glass, carbon, aramid's, and these are added to the matrix. Particulates, these are the small metallic or a non-metallic particle that can be added to the polymer matrix. And in the particulates, these are the metallic and non-metallic particles, and in flakes we have thin solids like mica flakes, whiskers, fibers made by the growing crystals, silica, graphite. So these comes under the flakes. So these are the matrix that we have studied. The matrix is made up of thermosetting plastic or a thermoplastic, and the fibers which are in this you can see fibers or the thread like structure, whatever you want to tell say. These are of so these are reinforcement. Basically we call them reinforcement or dispersed phase. These are fibers, particulates, and flakes, right? So the next that we have to study is the classification of composites, how the composites are classified. So the particle reinforcement composite and particulates, this is the first. In the fiber reinforcement composite, this is second. And in this you have to study what the different structures and how these are arranged. And the third type is the structural composites. Okay, so in particle reinforced composites, basically these are composed of the particle embedded in the matrix body or metallic body. So basically the particles are embedded in the metallic body, or you can say matrix. Okay, so in this the example is your carbon black reinforced rubber that shows the improvement in the tensile strength. Okay, and in the fiber reinforced composite you have particles, right, like this. So these are also similar to this one, but the thing is that here the matrix you can also add metallic and non-metallic particles, and the examples, by the example you can find the difference. In the fiber reinforced composites, basically there are three subcategories again, that is continuous, aligned, discontinuously randomly oriented, and discontinuously aligned. Okay, so similar thing is also here, that in the matrix there are fibers. Okay, in the matrix there are fibers. So what are the three types? Let's study. So this is a continuous aligned composite. This is a discontinuous aligned composite. Here you can see all these are continuous, means they are repeating at a particular interval. You can say these are repeating. These are discontinuous. Discontinuous means the fibers here are the whole fibers, but the fibers here are not the whole fiber. These are the particle type. And in this discontinuous randomly oriented composite, the fibers are not aligned in a particular order. You would say these are randomly aligned. There is no order. This is basically what the fiber reinforced composite. You can also call it FRC, right? The next type of composite is structural composite. So in the structure composite, basically the properties of the structure composite depend. It doesn't depend not only depend on the constituent materials, but also depends on the geometry and the design of formation. Here it depends only on. Actually, it's depend only on this. It depends on the structure also, but here the more you have to concentrate on the geometric design. Okay, so here the first example of this structure composite or the subtopic under it is the laminar composites. So what are laminar composite? You can take an example of the plywood that you see in your daily life. The plywood is basically a best example of the laminar composite, where you can say that on the one layer there is other layer, right? So this is basically what the laminar composite. That is the structure. You can see these are the different sheets. These are attached to each other and form that fabricated laminar composite. The second type of composite, the structure under the structure composite, which is this, which is under the classification of the composite, which is basically the reinforcement composite and which is basically the polymer composite. So here the second type is sandwich panels. So what happens in the sandwich panels? You have one you can say you have one laminar here, and below you are having the laminar, and the core will be thick, right? So this is what the sandwich panel. So basically the face material is a fiber reinforcement plastic, whereas the core material can be a synthetic rubber, foam, polymer, etc. And these type of material are normally used in the aircraft wings, boat hulls, roof floors, etc. because these are light in weight. Okay, so what are the properties of composite? We studied the different classification. Now the properties is that they have a high tensile strength because they are having the fibers are connecting them together. That's why high stiffness, high thermal stability, cheap and easily fabricated, low thermal expansion, high impact resistance, high oxidation resistance, and high abrasion resistance. So these are the various properties of the composites. So what are the various applications of the composite? These are used in the automobile body parts, turbine, engine, pumps, valves, fabrication of the roofs and floors, furniture, sports goods, toys, musical instrument, shafts, hull, propellers, and rockets, aircraft, helicopter, communication antenna, electronic circuits. There are various applications of the composites, and it's not necessary to learn all. You can remember few of them. As you already mentioned that we have to study the FRP in more in detail, which is fiber reinforced plastic. So in fiber reinforced plastic, composite materials are made up of polymer matrix reinforced with the fibers, right? So these are the properties, the characteristic properties of fiber reinforcement these properties depend on what? Nature, orientation, distribution, nature of polymer matrix, strength of interfacial bonds between the fiber phase and polymer matrix phase. General properties of FRP is it has a high tensile strength, high electric modulus, high stiffness, lower density. So commonly used reinforced fibers are glass, carbon. Now you don't know that glass is a reinforcement fiber, but yes, it is a reinforcement fiber. Carbon, aluminium, and asbestos, paper, wood, these are. And commonly used polymer matrix are, these are basically the fibers which are used with these type of matrix. Thermoplastics such as nylon, polyethylene, and these are used with this thermoplastics such as nylon, polyethylene, propylene, ABS. So these are the various matrices, and these matrices are used with these fibers. Now this is the important part of the basically specialty polymers. Some important types of fiber reinforced composites, right? So basically the fibers that we are talking about is glass fiber reinforced polymer composite. We studied this right now. These are used in the glass reinforced in the polymer matrix containing nylon, polyester, Glass fibers are obtained by forcing glass melt through the spinnurate having this small hole. Basically, we are what we do, we make fibers from the glass. That's why we and how we make this is the basically written here, and this is basically written here. So what are the advantages? Advantages are that they show improved properties as a high tensile strength, impact resistance, lower densities, excellent resistance to the corrosion and chemicals. What are the limitations of these? Limitation is basically that since it's a polymer, since polymer matrix deteriorates or flows at a high temperature, this show applications in the limited temperature range. Basically, you can use them in a limited temperature range because the matrix is basically not able to survive in that temperature, right? And then since material do not possess desired stiffness and rigidity, they cannot be employed as the structure components. What are the applications of the glass fiber reinforced material? So these are basically used in automobiles, storage tank, industrial flooring, plastic pipes, and reduce because this is used in automobile, it reduces the weight of the vehicle and boosts the fuel efficiency. And the second application is that these are used in the carbon fiber reinforcement polymer composite. So basically this what is from the glass reinforcement composite, and then in this basically these are the glass reinforcement materials mixed with this to make the properties more and more outstanding. So basically what happens when these are mixed by the pyrolysis, carbon tubes are obtained by the pyrolysis. This is how the carbon tubes are obtained, and when this is mixed, then what happens, basically elastic modulus of a glass fibers and shows better resistance to the temperature. Corrosive chemical, it shows the better resistance to the temperature and its corrosive chemicals also, and however they are short fibers and are more expensive. So these are the applications. In advantages, we have that they show improved properties, excellent resistance to corrosion, high elastic modulus, low density, and a high temperature resistance, right? So basically these are the advantages of carbon fiber reinforced polymers, right? And the advantages of glass reinforced polymers are high, the similar examples for the glass fiber reinforced polymers, right? Then we have the applications of carbon reinforced polymers. So in applications we have that these are used as a structural components like wings, stabilizer, aircrafts and helicopters. Since these are these are made up from carbon, so these are lightweight. These are used in making sports good, rackets, archery, laptop, fishing rods, musical instrument, violin, flute, guitar. So these are the various applications of the carbon reinforced polymer composites.